You have got to be kidding me. Liquor legend here. Happy Thursday night to everyone. I don't usually do some night videos because once it gets dark, the video doesn't look that good, but we still got some light. And I was having a conversation with somebody today about something that happened about 2 months ago, just before the virus started taking effect. And I hadn't thought about it until today, and now we want to talk about it. It's not about the liquor industry, but it's still about retail businesses in general. The store in particular that I'm talking about is the Lowe's in Brockton. Now, a lot of things happen in stores and things, but this is kind of sticking with me. And as I was talking with the customer today, who happened to be working at their rivals, which is Home Depot, it occurred that it wasn't normal. So let me explain. A couple months back, I happened to be in there looking for a grill. It's going to get nicer out. Obviously, we didn't know that this virus was going to be the monster it was at the time. We thought it might have passed now, but anyways, we were looking for a grill, and I was going down one of the aisles, and I just happened to see two mice scoot across the aisle. Now, being the responsible person, I kept telling myself, all right, let me find somebody in charge so I can let them know about it, so that, they can take the proper things. Because, that's not something you want to see in your store. If you got bugs in your store, it doesn't look good on you, especially if you run the place. I'm big on making sure my store is clean. I do that for a reason, because I don't want somebody to go in there and see a disgusting mess. And believe me, it happens. I've said this before. There are stores that will wait until the dust has accumulated on their shelf like it's a freaking museum. They don't care. But anyways, I finally toured the register area. I saw two people. One, a gentleman, obviously he had the name tag, he had the shoe tie. So he obviously was somebody in charge. And a woman, she the way they were talking, it looked like she had some authority there as well. So I walk up to him and I say, hey, not for nothing, I'm just letting you know, I seen just two little mice just go across the aisle. And his response shocked me, because he goes, oh, you only seen two? Numb to the fact that I just saw something disgusting and you didn't give a fuck. You didn't care. Because that's what it seems like. Now, if I had a problem in my store, if I had a huge store like the size of Lowe's, I would actively be trying to solve that problem. You do have a pest control section in that place. But your reaction to me like, oh, only two? Means you don't care. Means you don't have pride for your establishment. You're a bullshit manager if that's your response to a customer seeing something that's unsightly. Because if I was in your position, whether I had a rodent problem or not, my first response is, oh, can you show me where you saw that? Because I want to make sure that I take care of that right away. A reasonable manager, a manager that gives a shit, would act more surprised and shocked. You were nonchalantly like, yeah. And your coworker wasn't any help, because she's like, and her face is, oh yeah, you found another one. Do you not value the place you represent? People don't value their jobs like they used to. A job to a person is just a paycheck most of the time. Now, I can understand if you're not somebody with responsibility. If you're frontline workers, cashiers, bag people, stocking people, unless you have skin in the game, unless it's something that you personally have a hand in changing, Most people don't give a shit, and I get it. Listen, I wasn't always the astute person I am today. But once I started getting responsibility, I started giving a shit. You obviously could care less. Now, I'm not in for having people fired for not giving a shit. But I'm definitely in for having your ass retrained. Because you represent the business you work for. And if you don't give a shit, then why would you care if your place makes money or not? It's kind of funny because when I told the woman today, she was shocked. And her response to me was like, oh, I gotta tell my coworker. Which means she's somebody that would give a shit. Truthfully. She would care. I'm sure if I went to that Home Depot in Bridgewater and I saw the exact same thing and she was the one standing there and I went and said something to her, she would be like, oh, can you show me? Because I want to make sure I take care of it. You gave absolute shit about what I saw. Maybe you don't like your job. Maybe you think you're underpaid, which is always a bullshit excuse for people not wanting to do the job. I don't get paid enough. People who complain they don't get paid enough are always often the same people who, when you say, all right, well, take some responsibility, start taking more responsibility, they don't want responsibility. Don't give a shit, and if you're given the position to give a shit, you don't want it. You don't want the hassle. There's a problem going on in this country that goes way beyond political, way beyond the protests. And it's been going on for quite a while. I have fired so many freaking people. There's a 1 year, one of the first stores I ran, I fired more people in the first year than I gave out than I hired. And it was like a 4-to-1 ratio. It was like almost every other week I was firing somebody. Because people, they get these jobs and they just don't give a shit. And some people, they just, they take a job because their parents are pushing them. A lot of the younger generation. They take a job because they don't give a fuck. They want to get some money. Their parents make them get a job. You know what? Not for nothing. I was made to get a job when I turned 16. When I turned 16, my father put me in a freaking vehicle. The day of my 16th birthday, I believe. Put me in a vehicle. I think it was early too, 10 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it wasn't exactly my birthday, but it was close to it. After I turned 16. Because I think it was a Saturday, and I'm not sure if my birthday was on a Saturday. But put me in a car and drove me to the other end of Broad Street in Providence. Kicked my ass out the car and said, don't come home unless you have applications. I know kids that are lazy as shit and won't get off their ass. That's not how my father saw it. And when you have if you have a workforce that don't give a shit, then they won't go anywhere in life. You know, I am big for fighting with the Fight for 15 people. The Fight for 15 is the group trying to push $15 minimum wage. The most of the people that are fighting for that are in their 30s and freaking 40s or late 20s and have kids. Minimum wage was never meant for a person with a family. Your position in life, what you're supposed to do is find something you're good at and try to progress. And even if you do progress, again, as I stated earlier, there are some people that don't want responsibility. They want to get paid more. but they don't want to take on more to get paid more. I'm getting off topic because, once I start getting on a tangent, it's all freaking over. Going back to my friend, the person I'm talking about, at the Lowe's in Brockton, you really gave a shit. You could have been a little more conservative. You could have been a little more and say, oh, I'm sorry for that. Nope, didn't give a shit. Gave me a response like, okay, so what? Did it attack you? There is no love and passion for work now. Well, and it also comes down to if you love what you do. If you love what you do, you will do it 10 times better than people who are just there, that are just being. So you're not always going to love all your jobs. But trying hard and trying to be more than what you originally start builds character. It builds a better worker. Then you can move up or move on to something bigger. But you need to apply yourself and to give a shit. Now, I'm taking it kind of personal. Well, I'm taking it to heart because I'm a manager. I give a shit if somebody says something negative about my store. I take it to heart. I take criticism. So I make sure I'm on the up and up. I've had people, give me shit. You're too cocky. It's not cocky. It's confidence. I'm confident in what I do so much that I'm willing to push myself beyond the limit. Again, I know that I make fun of my competitors and go after my competitors. It's the nature that I'm in. It's the nature of me. I'm a competitor. I'm out to be number one. Regardless of the situation, I will try to push myself way past what it should be. I'm passionate. Passion breeds success. Drive breeds success. It amazes me the amount of people who say they never can't find a job. What do you sit on your ass? How about going into every place possible to find that job? Or do you expect to be on your couch one day playing Xbox or PlayStation? Who is it? Job. Not coming to you. And then when you get it, you must bust your ass to get known, to get noticed. And then when you're asked if you want responsibility, you take that challenge. Success isn't just given upon somebody. Again, you're rich, sure. Your daddy owns a company. Your daddy will put you in a high position. If I was rich and I had a company, I would put my family, my child, in a high position. Because I always want you always want your children to do better than you, to have everything you can give them. You have to have pride in what you do. Because that sets you apart from the fucking bottom of the barrel, which is what most of the workforce is today. Bottom of the barrel. The countless interviews I've taken, and when that interview is over, I'm like, nope. I can just tell this is going to be a nightmare. And the ones who get in the management position, maybe you get in good intentions, and maybe your career stalls off. But once your career stalls off, then you start not giving a fuck. And when you don't give a fuck, it can show. As this gentleman, this manager from the Brockton Lowe's showed me. You didn't give a fuck. Now maybe someday, Sue, this video makes it back to you. I'm giving you some honest criticism. If you look at the video and you say, fuck him, well, that shows you the type of person you are. That means you ain't shit. Not in my eyes. But if you take my criticism and you say, yep, I'm going to do better next time. I'm going to find some proactive solutions to take care of the pest problem. Somebody comes up and says something, I'm going to act shocked. Hey, can you show me where you saw that? So I can make sure I put traps down? You know what? You could have been like that and not did anything. Hey, yeah, let me, what I wasn't, okay, I'm going to put some stuff down. I actually would have felt that, okay, he's taking care of that. He's being proactive. Oh, you only saw 2? Now, there are winners and then there are losers. And unfortunately, in my book, sir, you're part of the latter. And maybe you don't give a shit about your job. But to the people who run these places, maybe there are people who give a shit about their job. Now, it's not always easy to give a raise. But if your employee does a good job, let them know it. Give them some encouraging words. Most employees just want money, but it's not always in the cards. If you're balancing budgets, you can only pay so much. It is what it is. But you earn experience and skills, and you move. And if you're not going to get paid the way you want to get paid, you move on to something higher priced. But as a worker, if you want to exceed in life, if you want to do more than what you're doing, you take any added responsibilities that you can. Even if you're just a regular worker and you see a way that maybe is a little better. Hey, manager, hey, boss man, can I talk to you for a second? Hey, what do you think about this? Now, a lot of managers will be apprehensive to want to change things. But if it's a good idea, they might put it into play. You don't know. You should give more shit about your position, or leave it and let somebody else take care of it. Just my opinion. But that gentleman may never see me again. That gentleman may never see this. Maybe somebody from Lowe's in Brockton will see this. I didn't get a guy's name. I'm not about giving the guy's name. But your employee should have gave a fuck about my concern for your location. Because who says I ever have to go back there again? That's all I got.